I think all well, no? Today I'm going to explain you very sweet story. Yeah, it's a story. It's about a little girl. Little girl, as the title itself reflects that this story is about a very sweet little girl. Now, what is so peculiar about this story? Why this story is so different? Although this story, तुम लोग sometimes you will feel that you are related to the circumstances which that little girl is also facing, because we also face that similar situation in our life. Sometimes you will feel that, oh, she is a childish, her whatever she is being scared of, so it's very childish, maybe whatever it is, but you will really feel connected to the story. Why? Because you in the entire story you will see a child psychology, because you are, hmm, yes, this defines child psychology and also role of parents in their life. Because parenting, parenting is a very tough thing. Your parents might be knowing this. And why you always feel, sometimes you might be feeling that your parents are very difficult to understand, or maybe they are very rude to you. But my dear children, if your parents are rude, then also actually they are thinking for your benefit. That is why discipline is important in life. And the very first lesson of discipline, where do you learn? At your home. Because when a child is very small, then obviously parents pamper him. Lot of love he is collecting from everywhere. But it is important, it is necessary parents to teach them that discipline, because they have to face challenges of life. Because when they will move out, for example, they will start going to school, the very first lesson, you can say, the very first change in their life, there they have to remain disciplined. Okay, so it's duty of parents. Now sometimes some parents are intimidating, maybe you can say they are overpowering the entire personality, or maybe you can say they are dominating. But there also you will see that love and compassion is lying somewhere in their personality. Now, again, you are also going to see that communication gap. You will, in the entire story, you will feel that because of this communication gap, Kezia, the little girl, her name is Kezia, she feels that she is lonely. And that is why she started misjudging her father. But when the story comes to an end, there is always a happy ending. So you are thoroughly going to enjoy this story. I will tell you about the philosophy also, because the story is very simple. Listen, children, story is very simple. So you might be thinking that why this story has been prescribed in standard ninth, because you are grown up now. You will sometimes feel, oh, this story is not for me. Okay, this is for some little girl, some little child. But no, you will feel when you will see the psychology that is being presented through the very sweet story, then you will see that, yeah, it is happening in your life also. Sometimes your parents are a little, strict, that no, this is, or you have a limitation, or there is a routine in your life. Why is it so? And even if there is a communication gap, maybe from your parents' side, it is up to you also that you can go and have and start a conversation with them. So everything is presented in this story in a very simple manner. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen now. Give me 2 minutes. Now, first of all, I will explain you, I will tell you a little bit about the writer, the story writer, the writer of this story. She is Catherine Mansfield. Now, who is she? Actually, she is a New Zealand most internationally famous author. She was a writer of short stories, poetry, letters, journals, reviews, and changed the way the short story was written in English language. So, in a way, you can say that she was quite a rebel, okay, and a revolutionary. That is why she was called rebel also, and a modernist who lived her short life. She died very early at the age of 34 years. But even before she died, at the age of 34, she had achieved a reputation as one of the most talented writers of modern short story. So her story you are going to read now, Catherine Mansfield, The Little Girl. Now here is a question before. Sorry, children, there was some, power cut in my area. Sorry, sorry. All well now? Mhm. Now, before we are going through this story, I would like to ask questions. I know I have muted you, abhi tum bol nahi paoge, but still, I want you to think because when the class will come to its end, then we will have a discussion. Do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? I know that definitely there is a change in your attitude also, in their attitude also. Because as you started growing up, things started changing in your life. Because when you are a small baby or a kid, your parents are looking after you, they are fulfilling all your demands. But then a time come when they need to discipline you. So there you will feel that maybe your parents has become harsh. But with the passage of time, you will start knowing your parents better than when you were a kid, because you will know that whatever they are taking the decision, it is for your benefit. So perhaps you now understand the reason for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. Okay. Now, as I told you, this story is about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding. Will probably find an echo in every home because you will feel correlated, because you will always feel that, yeah, somehow, somewhere, I also had the same situation in my life. Okay. And girls are generally very close to their father. But here you will see that little girl, she's so much scared of her father that that the words she is using to describe her father, it is sometimes not very nice. Okay. Now this is a story about a little girl who is initially you can say afraid of her father and avoids him. She feels relieved on seeing her father go to office, but her feeling changes when she come to know that her father is also a very nice human being as well as a loving father, caring father. Now, you will find out the entire story revolves around the little girl whose name is Kezia. Remember her name, little girl, because the title itself reflects. Justify the title. This is a very common question. So you can simply that it is apt and appropriate because the entire story, पूरी कहानी बस उस लड़की के चारों तरफ है. Because we are going to see the perspective, you are going to see the characters also through her eyes, because that is being described in the story, that what she is thinking, how is her thought, why she is so upset. So from her point of view, we are going to see the entire story. Okay. Now the theme of this story is the relationship between children and their parents. And Catherine Mansfield wants to tell us that children share a very important bond of love with their parents. Obviously, an unconditional bond of love you share with your parents. Although, when children are small, obviously, or they are young, they do not know, they do not feel that their parents love them because their parents are somehow sometimes strict, and maybe their actions, some of their actions are not justified according to them. They always feel why they are being so rude, why they are being so harsh. But as you start growing up, you started realizing that all the acts done by your parents were actually beneficial for you. No. And the parents were concerned for them, and beneath the strictness that lies a heart which is full of compassion, which is full of love for their own children. And this bond of love between parents and children has been highlighted in the entire story. As I told you, you will see also some loopholes that why. why Kezia was so much scared of her father, and why father was also not able to give her share, even though he loves her so much, that you will find out in the story. Now, when we are small, as I told you, we do not know why our parents are being so strict with us. But then we start growing old and we started realizing, we become mature, that why your parents has been so harsh and rude to you. So you will keep on relating things with your parents also, or the circumstances, whatever is being presented in the story. And through this little girl whose feelings for her father changes from fear to understanding, from being scared to love, from, you can say that, distance she was having, actually there was a gap, and then that gap was filled by the compassion and the love which her father showed to her. So this entire thing you will feel in this story. So now let's get to the story and read the lines carefully. So I'm going to explain line by line explanation. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared. Figure to be feared, that means a person to be feared, to be scared and avoided. Yeah. So if you fear any person, what do? You definitely want to avoid him or her. माँ से अगर डर लगेगा, या अपने फादर से डर लगेगा, या मान लो घर में कोई और है, चाचा है, कोई दादा है, नाना, तो व्हाट विल यू डू? उनको आप अवॉइड करोगे कि चलो मैं उनके सामने ही ना. ओके. सो दिस इज अ वेरी कॉमन थिंग, ये कॉमन साइकोलॉजी है, that if you are scared of that very person, you want to avoid him or her. So little girl was he was a figure. He is actually referred for her father. Now every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with goodbye father. And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter, fainter, dhima, and fainter down the long road. Now, how the day started. Basically, how she used to start the day, very nice, normally. Father was that every morning father has to go to office. So father was coming, since I told you the very beginning that father genuinely loved her. Maybe he looked a little strict. So he was coming to her room, giving her a casual kiss. And she was also responding, okay, Papa, bye, Papa. That generally people used to do. Okay. But why she is happy? So why she is happy? Why this little girl? That she has a glad sense of relief that she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter. So, the figure to be feared, Kezia's father, and the little girl obviously is Kezia. So, in the very first line of the story, you will get to know that Kezia is actually very much scared of her father, as well as she tries to avoid him, and obviously she tries to remain away from him. So every morning before going to work, Kezia's father definitely come to her room, would say goodbye. She also used to say goodbye. He used to kiss her. And this action of Kezia's father obviously shows his love for Kezia, whereas Kezia was not able to understand. But you know why she is happy? Because she can hear the fainter and fainter, the reducing sound of the carriage, which was giving her a relief. Father has moved to office, and now she can have a sigh of relief. पापा को ऑफिस जाने का जैसे ही उसे समझ आता था, वो खुश हो जाती थी कि चलो, थैंक गॉड, नाउ आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू see him, and because she always wanted to avoid him. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper is out there and bring me my slippers. Now, how many members are there in the family? You should know this: father, mother, grandmother, and the little girl Kezia. So four members. Now, what was happening when father was coming back from the office? The way he was actually giving instruction to all the family members, you know that was also a little scary for him. Now sometimes we are unable to judge that why our parents are giving us, specifically father, when he might be coming from his office. You never know that what happened with him to the entire day, how difficult the day was, or maybe how tired he might be. बट व्हाट डू वी स्टार्टेड फीलिंग कि ओ पापा घर आ गए, अब बस पापा तो ऑर्डर देने लगेंगे, लेकिन वी आर नॉट एबल, मम्मी का काम दिख रहा है सबको, बट वी आर अनेबल टू जज दैट फादर टू कैन हैव अ बैड डे, या डिफिकल्ट डे, या कह सकते हो बहुत ही टायरिंग डे. So sometimes we are failed to judge that our father also work hard. Everywhere we all, most of the time we keep on praising, हालांकि माँ का भी थैंकलेस ही जॉब होता है, लेकिन फिर भी. Now whenever he was father was coming back, he would start ordering all different things. He would order that tea to be served in the drawing room. He wanted his newspaper. That means Kezia's grandmother, that every matlab, he used to come back and he started ordering things, and he started asking Kezia's grandmother that his mother to go and see if the newspaper is there outside the house, and then he would ask her to get him his slipper. So this kind of ordering, ये जो पूरा शुरू हो जाता था, which was again scaring who? Kezia. Kezia, mother would call to her, if you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots. Slowly, the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly, still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. Now, obviously, Kezia's mother would call out to her and ask her to remove her father's shoes. Now, in order to make her obey, since you can say one thing that Kezia is a nice girl, obedient girl. So, in order to make to listen to her instruction, she would say that, yeah, if she was a good girl, please come here. And definitely, Kezia was obeying her command. Slowly, the girl would slip down the stairs. Slip down here means very quietly, unwillingly, reluctantly. Okay, so Kezia, since she is so scared of her father, that reluctantly she is coming down the stairs quietly, unwillingly, because she did not want to face him. She is so scared of them, and that is why. But she has to come because she is an obedient girl. By that time, he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. And now father has settled down, obviously sitting in drawing room on a sofa, wearing his spectacles and looking at Kezia. And now the way he looked at her terrified her more. She was so scared that she did not even want to stare at him. वो जो look होता था father का, specs on and then looking. Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today? Now Kezia is so much scared that such a simple job of taking out the shoes of her father, that also she is not being able to do nicely. वो भी करने में maybe she is shaky, a little shaky. Anyway, father is starting a conversation. Okay, how was your day? Have you been a good girl today? जैसे father लोग पूछते हैं that whether you are a good girl today or not. Now here, what did she do? I don't know, father. She's saying, I don't know, father. अरे, you should know whether you are good girl or not. She was actually scared. She doesn't know what to answer. Okay, and she started, don't know. If you stutter like this, mother, you will have to take you to a doctor. अब stutter माने समझते हो? Stammering, हकलाना. Now here Kezia's father started copying her. You don't know. ये copy करते हैं हम लोग. क्या करते हैं? When we make fun of someone. Now these are the small things which was actually scaring her, because father was not trying to find out the reason why my daughter is stammering, stuttering. यहाँ पे father का वही role है. At least this is the role of parents, that they should try to know that why my child, मेरे से भी मेरा बच्चा इतना क्यों डरता है, why is, or maybe if she is having any physical problem, is this, or maybe क्योंकि stammering जो होता है ना, stammer करना, वो physical से ज्यादा psychological होता है. Doctor also say that it is more psychological than physical. So father should always try to learn that why is she stammering before him, but uske bajaye father is copying her, and he is also stammering. He says to her that if she stuttered like that, then her mother would have to take her to doctor for a checkup. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. Now, as I told you, that stammering or stuttering is actually more mental than physical. And so that's why she is telling that Kezia never stammered whenever she is talking to other people. It was only when she is talking to her father. Why? Because she lacks confidence. And in order to try very hard to speak properly, she started stammering before her father. और हम लोग दूसरी तरह से भी स्टैमर उसके सामने भी करते हैं, जिससे हम बहुत डरते हैं, नर्वस होते हैं, lack of confidence. So because of her nervousness and because of her lack of confidence, and since she was so much terrified that whenever father was having a conversation with her, she started stammering. इसी से वो डर से क्या करती थी, स्टैमर करने लगती थी. What is the matter? Why are you looking so rest about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. Now, instead of trying to finding out that why is she stammering, why is she so scared, why is she so quiet before him, now father becomes more annoyed. यहीं पे father का जो role है ना, that that is a little, मैं इसे कहूंगी कि ये थोड़ा सा justified नहीं है. Okay. Now Kezia's father looks at her. He feels that something is wrong with her, but he never tried to find out that what is wrong. ये होता है. Sometimes we parents are, because I'm also a parent, that's why I'm telling that sometimes as a parent or teachers also, some you कहते हैं grown up person are also, they are failed to understand the human psychology, the psychology of a child, and that's why not only child misjudge that person, but we also misjudge them. So here he feels that something is wrong with her. Father को लग रहा है. So he asked her why she is so unhappy. Rest क्यों है? मतलब unhappy क्यों है? Okay, that why you look so rest? What is the reason? हाँ, घर है, पापा है, मम्मी है, grandma है, then still all the facilities are there. You are being loved. Then why you are so unhappy? And then he tells the mother that she should teach Kezia to behave in a better way, and she should not appear as if she is so unhappy that she is about to end her life. ये भी बोल रहा है. मतलब this line is actually not a good line. That mother को वो कह रहा है कि mother, I wish you taught this child, मतलब Kezia की grandmother को, not to appear on the brink of suicide. Okay, about to commit suicide. So he's simply asking that please do not be so unhappy. It looks as if she is ready to commit suicide. Now, this is not the positive words which may come from a parent's mouth. कभी नहीं आना चाहिए. A parent should never say these words to his or her child. But father is, यहाँ पे मैं father का जो उनका voice, the words he is selecting to address her daughter, that is not good. So instead of finding out that why is Kezia unhappy, okay, he is simply asking mother ki why, teach her some manners, okay, that why she is doing this, why she looks so unhappy. Here Kezia, carry my teacup, and then again he wants Kezia to do the job, the menial job. Okay, carry the teacup. Now that's good. चलो ये तो common सी बातें हैं. Carry my teacup back to the table carefully. But here the role of father is being questioned. Okay, so definitely this question will come to your mind as well, that if देखो तुम्हारे घर में भी if you are not happy, then definitely your parents are asking you what happened, why you are so upset. So when your mother is upset, your father is upset, you should also go and talk to them, because there should be no communication gap. फैमिली क्या होता है, फैमिली को मिलके हर चीज को सॉल्व करना है. So this is not only the role of a child, it is role of everyone. Each and every member should participate in a healthy conversation, and they should try to remove all the prejudices which one is having and carrying in her mind. So you will see that Kezia is having prejudices in her mind. वो क्या है? Prejudices माने preconception पहले से ही कि my father is actually very difficult, or my father is very rude, my father is not a loving father, so very terrifying. And that is why she always used to misjudge. And then, और जब इस तरह के circumstances होते हैं where father is using such a words like this, that it looks as you are up on the brink of suicide, then it is forcing her to think in that negative manner. Now, अब देखो केजिया का कॉन्सेप्ट देखो. He was so big. Now, father grown up, भाई man है तो big होगा ही. His hands and his neck